2 years ago, I tested the Apple Vision Pro and I loved it, but I knew I would never be able to afford this. But here I am 2 years later to test my dream product for 7 days straight, and I have two goals. One, show you all of the coolest things about this product and whether it's worth it or not. And number two, I need to make at least one friend because I don't have any in Oregon right now. Now on day one of using your Apple Vision Pro, you're probably gonna be really overwhelmed, not know what to do, but I want you to take a breath, and there's one important thing that everyone has to do when they first get this, and that is find a place where you're nice and comfortable, and then open up an environment. So look at your hand, tap your fingers, look over here at the mountains, tap on that, and then just select any one of these. So now you're on some beach in the middle of nowhere, wondering how you got there, and this is when the magic happens. Go back to your apps and open up Photos. Now, if you go to the Spatial Photos tab right here, you already have 3D transformed photos that Apple just picked from your library, and it feels like you are in the moment. It is crazy. This picture here basically feels like an out-of-body experience. I feel like I'm looking at me in real life, in real size, in Kentucky right here. This is mind-blowing, honestly. And this takes on a whole new level with obviously other people and other moments. Here's Seth and Anna. It looks like they're right there when we did that snow hike. It's honestly crazy. Now, obviously, it's going to select some moments that you probably don't want to relive, like my ex here. I probably don't want to see that. Overall, even the hard memories were good to look at, and the good ones obviously were amazing. Look at the depth. It really is absolutely insane. I even opened up Voice Memos, which has cloud storage from all the songs I've written for years on my iPhone and voice notes, and I listened to those with really good immersive sound quality while reliving these past experiences. And I did this for hours. Honestly, it was really great, and it was a good time to reflect on what kind of actual friends I want to make in the future as well. Everyone has to do this if they have an Apple Vision Pro. I would highly, highly recommend it. You don't have to take spatial photos beforehand. You can just transform them with a tap of a button. And with that knowledge, let's go to day 2, where I try to make some friends. My first attempt at making friends was on day 2, the coffee shop. The plan was simple. Walk into the coffee shop confidently wearing my headset, order the manliest drink possible, and then walk up to some of the random strangers in the coffee shop, strike up a great conversation, and by the end of the day, I have a bunch of friends. What could possibly go wrong? Following. But first, let's get to the productivity. Today we're gonna go over one of the craziest things about the Apple Vision Pro, and that is productivity. So first off, if you have a Mac, you can open it up, and then pretty soon after I have it open, you'll see this little connect button just up here above it. If I tap on that, it will connect my screen, and then I have an ultra wide screen. We can change the size of the screen to something more standard, like this, and I can make it way bigger, push it back. It has this curve to it, which is really cool. The quality is insane. It looks like a really, really, really good OLED 12-foot screen that's curved. That's what it looks like. It's pretty crazy. Let's change the size again here. We'll go wide, and you can see it gets even more curved and goes even wider, so I can actually turn my head to see the different things. Now I can make it way smaller like this, bring it really close to me, and have like a smartphone sized floating screen, which I don't know why you would want that. And finally, let's do ultra wide. And this is crazy. This goes to like 180 degrees in both directions, essentially. So I have all of this in front of me, turn my head all the way over here, and it is still going. This is absolutely insane. I can even lay down and do this if I wanted to, but we are using the laptop, so that wouldn't really make any sense. So let's put it back in front of us, make it a little bit smaller, just in front of our laptop, so it looks like it is replacing the screen here with an ultra wide screen. Let's maybe push it a little farther back, a little higher, so I can have better posture. There we go. When I move my mouse around, I can click anywhere on this, do whatever I want. I can open new windows, have those up, and because it's so wide, I can fit a lot of stuff on here. So let's push it back again, and let's make it the ultra big shape. So at this point, right, you don't need the windows to be that big. So let's see how many pretty good sized screens we can fit on here. So you notice the problem with this then is the scaling. The scaling is like way too big, but we can actually fix that. So if we Command space, type in display, open that on up, and then we see the different resolutions here. Let's show all. And now we can click on one of these really tiny resolutions or one of these enormous resolutions. If you click on a huge resolution, the text is going to get really small, and that mouse, you can barely even see it. So let's maybe do this size resolution. This is much better. And let's open up Chrome again. And now, as you can see, those windows, they're a lot more manageable in size, so we don't have to make them so small anymore. We can have more normal sized windows. Now, essentially right now, this feels to me like it's an 18-foot screen because it goes all the way across the 12-foot room and then back like 6 feet both ways. I think that's actually more than 18 feet. You can fit so many windows on here, all from your computer, which you can control with your keyboard. And it's kind of amazing. I'm not going to lie. Let me open up some more windows. Say I need this a little bigger on the timeline than the rest of the windows. Maybe center the view on it like this. Have it come all the way down, so it's nice and big on there. And then we can just move these over here. You can fit an insane amount of windows on this. And the best part is this is not even everything, because this is just the Mac virtual display, which, as you saw, is really easy to just start. But watch this. You can also open up any other applications you want. You can also switch the surroundings. So let's say I want to go to Mount Hood. And you see now I'm in the middle of the forest. I have my countdown back there. It looks really, really cool. Now let's say I don't want this to block the view. So I want to put it over here, adjust everything. And now I'm at this really great workspace to type on my laptop, and I can look to my side to get this amazing view. But remember, you can use whatever other applications you want. I can open up Xbox Cloud Gaming, which I'll show you more of later in the video. I can open up my Photos app if I just want that nice backdrop of maybe a meaningful moment in my life over there. This is amazing. I can open up whatever applications I want. I can have an essentially 24-foot monitor screen of my Mac. So you really do not need much more than that, because again, you have your laptop, you can click around, type, do all of that stuff on here with so much space. It is absolutely insane. If you're in a crowded room, just come to one of these environments. That way it looks like it's farther away and doesn't feel like you're as crowded as, say, this normal room when it's like, oh my goodness, now it looks like it's farther away when I switch the environment, and I get the nice forest sounds as well. But that isn't all, of course. If we close out of this and we open up this app called Immersed, we can actually bypass the fact that you can only have one MacBook screen open at once, just a super wide one. So if I open that, I already have two MacBook screens, and I control these pretty much the same way I controlled the other ones. And these can go all the way up to 4K, which is nice. The other great thing is these also work with your PC, so I could even game on this or use apps that are only native to PC. Now, you have to have the Pro version to have more than two screens. I think you can get up to 5 or more, but you can connect this to your PC at the same time as it's connected to your Mac, at the same time as it's connected to an iPad like you see in this video. It is pretty insane, but I find that that enormous 20-foot screen is more than good enough, so that is what I use most of the time. As far as productivity, there's one other really important thing I have to show you, and that is how many native Vision Pro screens can we have up at the same time. This is a 3D photo. That was probably one of the best birthdays of my life. That was amazing. Let's just open up some applications. Let's open up countdowns, say that I'm going on a vacation the 16th. By the way, this is a free app available on the Vision Pro store. Let's continue. Countdown. If I have a really special event going on in my life, I can have this here. Obviously, if I'm in my room or whatever room you're in that you happen to be in normally, you can actually pin this to a wall. So if you hold it there, it aligns to the wall with that really nice perspective. Let's go ahead and do that with the gaming one as well. I'm going to come back in like 5 seconds. We're going to test how many screens in the Apple Vision Pro M5 we can have open at the same time without them lagging. Okay, guys, I am back. And let's see how many screens we have now. So obviously we have Xbox Cloud Gaming right there. We have a lot of Safari videos I'll show you. We have the countdown, we have live cyber stocks, we have HBO Max, reminders, to-do based app, spatial photo, ChatGPT. Okay, let's just start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then we got up here 22, 23, 24, 25, 25 apps open. And there's not really any noticeable lag. Let's play a YouTube video. Maybe that will make the lag start. Let's go to a darker scene. Let's go to the moon. Darker, easier to see all the screens here. So yeah, 25 screens, play a YouTube video.
Last night I woke up at 2 a.m. insanely thirsty, so I went to grab a glass of water.
Doesn't seem to be any lag there. Audio works great. If you didn't know, the Vision Pro, it plays spatially based on where the sound's coming from. So because that video's back and to the right, most of the audio is coming from the right side of my Vision Pros. 25 apps on the moon. I don't know why this one's floating horizontally there. I must have put that there by accident. But pretty crazy and not really any lag. There's whatever that weird glitch is kind of happening there. But I don't know why you would ever have this many apps open, to be honest. Seems a little excessive. Fans are very quietly going, and this is a tiny bit laggy. It's mostly just kind of the refresh rate of this. Whereas if I close all these apps, I'm pretty sure that would be extremely responsive. So that's how insane the productivity can get. You can have 25 screens all around you, or an 18-foot computer screen, or your PC and Mac screens all around you at the same time if you want. Okay, let's move on to day 4. And today, I just need to remind you that life can get really stressful. What I've realized from weeks of using the Vision Pro is one of the most used apps on the platform by far is the Mindfulness app. This lets you pick from a variety of meditations. And the petals of this ball breathe in and out with you. So based on when you breathe in and when you breathe out is when they will contract and expand.
Notice how the petals now respond as you inhale and exhale.
It is extremely relaxing. I've had moments where I'm over the top stressed, completely overwhelmed, everything is going wrong, and I just put this on for 5 minutes and I'm good. So honestly, probably the best thing about this Vision Pro from a mental health standpoint.
Reflect on something that made you feel creative and inspired lately. A song you love or a beautiful flower. Maybe you solved a problem at work or at home. As you think of this memory, do you notice any sense of creative energy in your body? If so, where do you feel it?
And I've used meditation apps in the Quest and other platforms, but the comfort, the immersiveness, and the quality and the attention to detail in the Mindfulness app in the Vision Pro is just unmatched, and nothing calms me down quite like it. But you're probably wondering, do I actually make any friends at that first coffee shop? So let's go back to day 2. Sorry. How's it going? Pretty good. I can't see very well though. So this is not going as planned. For one, everyone's staring at me, all 3 of these people. And 2, I can't see this menu.
They're all right here, but I can read it to you if you want. What's up?
Okay. Oh, this is not going well. And it's gonna get worse, you'll see. But for now, let's go to gaming. So today we're gonna be going over entertainment, and gaming obviously is included. So I've just connected my Xbox controller via the Bluetooth settings. I have my normal projector in the background. But once you have your controller connected, the go-to app you're gonna wanna do for Xbox Cloud Gaming is Nexus. So let's open that on up. And I already have it set to cloud gaming, but if I tap on the top, go to bookmarks, you have a bunch of stuff here. Spotify, Boostoroid, Afterplay, Cloud Gaming, GeForce Now, Discord, Visual Studio Code, and Mastodon. So whatever you set it to, by default, it's going to open to every time. I'm going to tap to resume game control. And as you see here, when I move the controller around, it does things perfectly. Now, I could have just casted from my phone, whatever game I'm playing on there, to the Vision Pro. I could have casted from my MacBook, like you saw in the productivity section. Could have used the Immersed app to cast from my PC to the Vision Pro. Or I just could not use the Vision Pro at all. I literally have a projector up here. against the wall. So if you look at that, it looks pretty good. Let me turn off the light. Hey Google. So I turn that light off. You see I have like an actual projector. I even have my Xbox connected to it and my PC, or I could use that 4K 32-inch screen over there. But the crazy thing is, I have found that using the Nexus app, cloud gaming even, so you know, it relies on your Wi-Fi, is an even better experience, even in low light, than gaming on any of those. Like, yeah, the 4K screen is great if you're really close to it, but I can make this screen so big. If I want it to be on the wall, I can pin it to the wall. And the crazy thing about this is, one, obviously it's bigger than the projector. It can go past the bounds of the real wall, and I can go into a virtual environment if I want to, if I want it to be darker in the background. Yeah, Jupiter is a good one. Time of day to nighttime. So now I can't really see the environment I'm in, but I can still see Jupiter from this moon that I'm on, and I can see the entire Milky Way and so many other things like the other moons of Jupiter. Oh, it's just crazy, honestly. Let me open up Nexus again, and it just looks so much more immersive. And I don't even need to lock it to the wall. I can just set it up here. If I want to lay back, I can literally lay down and play this on the ceiling. My neck is chilling. The quality of this is unmatched. I have not found anything this good quality, whether it's using a VR headset like the Quest 2, using the real projector on a 20-foot screen outside. And the reason is the Apple Vision Pro is true OLED display. So the blacks are extremely dark. The whites are really bright. I can't see a single pixel on the screen. It all just looks crystal clear. And the sound is really good. It's through Wi-Fi, by the way. It's not downloaded or anything. And it still looks a million times better than if I played this on any other platform. Yes, the Vision Pro isn't designed for gaming, but it's just so good. You're probably wondering, can you play real VR games in the Vision Pro? And there's a couple different ways to do that. Recently, with the most recent Apple Vision Pro update, you can actually use PSVR controllers. They've made them compatible with this now. First time I played this game, I played an hour and a half of it without stopping. I don't do that on headsets. My eyes get tired. My eyes don't get tired on the Vision Pro unless I'm on it for hours, and even then, it's the same tired as I get just looking at a big TV screen. Pretty groundbreaking how comfortable these are compared to any other headset I've ever worn or any other big TV I've ever looked at. I'm not really getting any latency here. Obviously it is based on the Wi-Fi and ours is okay. It's not amazing. You can actually use ALVR to play PC VR games. So if I just search, we get this result immediately on top on YouTube there. And there's a bunch of Reddit posts on how to do this too. Main downside here is people complain the controllers aren't the best. They don't have the best responsiveness, because before we had to use, I think they were the Surreal controllers, completely different brand, and apparently they got a little hot. But now that it's compatible with PSVR controllers, and as they make them more compatible in the future, this could really be an option, because honestly, PC VR is better than VR on Quest, VR and anything else. I still have a Quest 2. PC VR, like Skyrim fully modded, is insane, and that headset was only less than $200 for me, so I can't even imagine doing it on this thing. I think it would be absolutely mind-blowing to play Skyrim VR. To me, looks like a 14-foot screen. That is how big it looks. If I was mirroring this from my Mac or from the PC using the Immersed app I showed earlier, I could even make this screen curved, which would be really cool. It has the 120 hertz of the Apple Vision Pro M5. So gaming is surprisingly good on this thing. Besides that, you have other options for entertainment. Netflix, for instance, which I spelled wrong, but it knows what I meant. And then you're gonna get all that stuff really easily. Obviously, you can resize the window to your liking, and I can lay down and watch Netflix in extremely good quality. Now, you can also do this with YouTube, as you see here. There are some other streaming apps. So if I go to the App Store and I go to popular this week, this is where a lot of them are going to be. So we have Disney Plus, we have Amazon Prime Video, HBO Max. The only real notable one that's missing here obviously is gonna be Netflix, which I just showed you is pretty easy to do with Safari anyways. We also have Peacock, TikTok, X, Paramount Plus, and plenty of other streaming services like NBA. That is entertainment and gaming for the Apple Vision Pro and my experience with it. We need to talk about some cons. These Apple Vision Pros, despite being almost $4,000, are not perfect. My number one biggest complaint is that there are certain situations where the eye tracking in particular doesn't really work. If I have the lights dimmed down low, for instance, or maybe the lights are nice and bright, but I'm laying down, sometimes it doesn't matter how many times I look at an element on the screen, it does not highlight it. The accuracy for the eye tracking, I'd say, is around 90%. Number two, the battery life is only about 2.5 hours. Usually doesn't last this long if you're actually using this for what you should be using it for. And you have to carry this giant puck. But you can actually plug a USB-C cord into this and charge it while you're using these. I do this sometimes when I'm laying in bed, and it just stays at 100% when I do that. And the final big con actually isn't comfort like you might think. Yes, this is pretty heavy. It's even heavier than the last Apple Vision Pro, but this is the most comfortable headset I've ever worn in my life. You don't get fatigue or even motion sickness because the pass-through is so good. I've walked around in the park with these on, outdoors, and even around the house without running into anything. But what actually is a drawback, these draw a lot of attention. And yes, I'm no stranger to wearing strange devices on my head in public, but with these, everyone still looks at you. So if you don't care, you don't get embarrassed easily, you think life is just all fun and it's all part of the adventure and who cares who looks at you, it's not really gonna bother you. But if you're in an antisocial mood or you don't like everyone staring at you in public, you're probably not gonna wanna wear these outside. So should you actually buy these? Has this been a life-changing experience? Honestly, yeah, wearing these has been really incredible. And I often find myself reaching for these a lot to meditate and to be calm and to get ideas or to just get direction. I like the wisdom meditation. Productivity is also pretty crazy on here, although I would not spend more than like 30 minutes to an hour straight looking at a screen on these. And gaming is insane. So is this worth almost $4,000? I would say no. Here's why. You can get an Apple Vision Pro with an M2 chip right now on eBay or on Marketplace for half the price, about $2,000, sometimes a little bit less. That's what I would do if you really want one of these, and it's the same experience. I actually got one of those older ones to test against this, and it's the same. Get yourself a $100 dual knit band if you want it for the comfort, because that's definitely worth it, but I don't think the newest M5 chip is worth it at all. So that's my take. So I've completed my main quest, but my side quest of making a friend still remains. As you can see though, there's no one in this coffee shop other than that one guy sitting in the very corner who clearly does not want to be spoken to. So instead, I reflected on my life and I tried again on day 7. And that's when something crazy happened. I finally got to talk again to someone who I haven't been a good friend to in a long time.